everyone. Welcome back to CE Family Law Conversations podcast. I have today with me another director of CE Family Law, Lauren Copeland. Hello, Lauren. How are you?
I'm very well, Sanaz. How are you? Good to be here.
Thank you, and thanks for taking the time to have a chat about an important event that is upcoming, which is Mother's Day.
Certainly is an important event on the calendar.
We're going to just have a discussion today about some tips and challenges relating to Mother's Day, and how you should approach Mother's Day, and what you need to do.
Look, I think the key thing with Mother's Day when you have a separated parents is to make sure that you try really hard to get in early. And when I say get in early, I mean communication early to set everybody up for success. So if you don't have a parenting plan or court orders in place, and you and the other parent are relatively on decent terms or amicable, it would be really good ahead of time to reach out to that parent to try and make some appropriate arrangements for Mother's Day to ensure they're in place ahead of time, not just for your own certainty, but obviously more importantly for the children's certainty, because often children really enjoy spending time with that parent, waking up with them or having breakfast with them, opening presents together. It's an important day for the child as it is for the parent. So getting in early to get those firm arrangements in place, I think, is really key.
And I agree, but also what I suggest to most of my clients is that there is no specific timeline or time set for Mother's Day. You can have all of Mother's Day from the morning until the afternoon, or you can propose that you spend time from the night before until the Sunday afternoon, or even until the Monday morning. And also, it's important to say to the other parent that it applies for Father's Day as well. So if you're having Mother's Day, say, for example, from the Saturday afternoon or the Saturday night until the following Monday, the other parent misses out on that time, or the child misses out on spending time with that parent. So to reassure the other parent that when Father's Day comes along in September, the same time will apply to them.
I think that's also really important. I think to make sure that things are mirrored where they can be. Certainly, there'll be cases I think that it's not appropriate to mirror. For example, if there are risk factors in a case, whether there's family violence or there's drug and alcohol issues or things like that, that may not make it practicable or safe for a child to spend the same level of time with that parent or on the same conditions. I certainly think if those factors aren't part of the particular case in question, and certainly if there are no risk factors in the matter, that mirroring time often feels right for both parents, and more importantly for the children, that they have and enjoy that same time together with both parents on these special days. And I certainly also agree that there's no set specific time. Some parents are really happy to have just a few hours on the Sunday. Some really want to wake up in the morning. Some want to have that dinner on the Sunday night and, take them to school on the Monday. But it's really important that those arrangements are made ahead of time, that they're mirrored if they can be, so that the children have a sense of consistency and routine about what we do for mum, we do for dad, or what they get to spend with mum, they get to spend with dad on these special occasions. Again, subject to there not being risk factors that need to be accounted for.
Also, I recently had a matter where you can be creative. So Mother's Day is a day that you celebrate your mother, but it doesn't necessarily need it to be on the second or is it the first Sunday in May. You can be creative and
I think it might be the second Sunday in May,
it
but
is. I wasn't sure. I was like, is it
Yes.
the first or the second? No, it is the second. You're right. The second Sunday in May. You can, if that doesn't work for you, you can celebrate Mother's Day on another weekend in May if things don't work out, or if the other parent says no, the children are in my care. and you've got no orders or a parenting plan in place, you can say to the children, we're going to celebrate Mother's Day. We're going to celebrate it on another day. Let's do it the third weekend in May. So you can be creative as well.
And I think creativity is always really important when we're talking about these issues, because you're not always going to necessarily have the other parent consent to things, even if they're really sensible and reasonable. And being creative can often be really helpful in cases where that's an issue. Now, so as you did mention just before, and you touched on if there's no parenting plan or if there's no court orders, perhaps you can shed some light on, what the difference is between the two, but B, what sort of provisions would be included in a parenting plan or a court order in relation to a Mother's Day, Father's Day situation.
So the difference between a parenting plan and an order, a parenting plan is a document that it's an agreement. It can be drafted by a family dispute resolution practitioner. It can be drafted by a solicitor, and it's an agreement that you've got with the other parent. And you can incorporate into that agreement special days. And special days include Mother's Day, children's birthday, Father's Day, and so forth. An order is an order of the court. So, and the main difference is an order of the court is enforceable, where a parenting plan is not enforceable. It still sets out your intentions, that the intention is this is what we're going to do, but it's not an order. So, for example, if someone doesn't comply, one of the parents doesn't comply with the order, you can actually make an application to the court on the basis that they haven't complied. But with a parenting plan, because it sets out your intention, you can't, and it's not an order of the court, you can't apply to enforce it or to make a contravention application or anything like that. If you do have a parenting plan or an order, then you follow the terms of the parenting plan and the order. And again, it depends on the arrangements you've reached with the other parent. So generally speaking, again, if there are no risk factors, Lauren, what a standard order would be from the night before Mother's Day until the Sunday later on in the afternoon. In the event the children are, say, with the father's time is suspended and the children spend time with the mother in accordance with the parenting order or the parenting plan.
Now, just in terms of a little tip that came up recently, was in cases where, again, not risk factors per se, and the parties are relatively amicable, one of the things that can be done is if you're a father and you're getting ready for your kids are getting ready for Mother's Day, is to maybe, sit them down and get them to make mom a card or get her a present, and to set that example for the children can be a really special thing, because often they do want to give mom a present on Mother's Day. And of course, as you indicated earlier, the same should apply to dad. And if dad is seeing the children on Father's Day, it would be nice for them to open a present and for them to have that build up. Because we recognize that even though parents separate, the parents are obviously still the parents of that child. The family just looks different now. And so we always want to try and keep the children's interests as paramount. These are exciting holidays. They're exciting times for the children. And it's really good when the parents can facilitate that.
Absolutely.
Just a suggested little tip that someone recently gave to me. And I thought it was really interesting, and it really, goes down quite well.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Lauren. Thank you, everyone, for listening, and
happy Mother's Day to all.
Mother's Day.